Welcome back to the Ladies Lounge. I'm your host, Erica Kane, the big one, not the little one. You already know what time it is, okay? So I would like to introduce my two co-hosts, the founders of all things autism out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll let them introduce themselves further, and we'll get right back into this topic.
Well, I'm Shatova Karams, and I'm co-founder of All Things Autism Foundation. I am in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, representing for the Bluff. I have three children. My youngest is 6. His name is Caleb, and he was diagnosed with autism. I am a teacher. I'm an advocate. I'm a woman of God. I'm just all around girl. It's nice to meet you. So get ready.
My bad.
Hey y'all, I'm Sharika from Little Rock, Arkansas, of course. My son, CJ, I'm also is the co-founder of All Things Autism.
Okay, so if you haven't already liked, subscribe, go and do that because today we talking about autism. Okay, so as you see, both the co-founder are parents of children that has autism, which y'all don't know. I am also a parent of a child who has autism. He's 11 years old. So this today is so very warming my heart. Okay. So, first of all, I want to say it is really rare. If y'all might not understand it, it's really rare to see African American women in such a position as founders of nonprofit organization like this. So, I want to take a little time out and let them tell you about the foundation. If you're interested, how you can possibly help fund what things they do, all about it. I'm just gonna give them the floor right here.
So with All Things Autism, the reason why we discovered and founded this organization is because we saw a need in our communities. It was awesome how I'm in one city and she's in another, and we was able to still connect and just find a lot of similarities with the deficits in our community, the resources, and just feeling alone all the time. So when we got together, we started we had a vision, but our first priority was to give back, to do something for the autism community. So that's the first thing we did, and we had our first Autism Fun Day in April of 2021. We have put in our own money, like almost 100%. We do get donations, and we're thankful for it, but we are also taking from our household and making sure these events happen. We're on Amazon. We putting stuff on there. Whatever we got to do to make sure that we provide resources and provide fun, we have done that. And to date, we've had 2 Autism Fun Days. We've had a informational in Pine Bluff. We've had a sip and paint, a mom's sip and paint. We've had what else have we had? There's so many things.
Right.
We had a pop-up shop. We had a pop-up shop. So we're just finding different ways to just reach out to our autism communities and just providing that support any way we can. And we did a backpack drive as well. So.
Yeah. And I know you have an upcoming event.
Yep. October 28th, we'll be in Pine Bluff, my hometown. We're going to be doing a fall festival. So it's going to be sensory friendly. It's going to be great for all families, for everybody, but specifically for families with autism.
So I want to touch on briefly how important this foundation is for our community, because being a mother of an autistic child, it's really not a lot of things geared to them because, our activities are like age appropriate, for non-autistic children. Well, our children, no matter what age they are, they might actually identify as a different age and behave a different way. For myself, my son, he's 11 years old. He's 224. He's 5'10", So he don't identify with other 11-year-old children. First of all, he bigger than all the children, period. But he identifies with smaller children, and it can be frightening and sometimes. So being able to get him with other children who don't necessarily look at him that way, they just want to have fun. And we actually went to the second fun day, and he and all the children had a blast. It was just so beautiful to see them all just playing together, and I was there wasn't no incidents, wasn't no problems, and so I'm very thankful to have found these young ladies, because the children need an outlet and the parents need an outlet. It's good to be able, because we have talked hours on the phone just to be able to be able to express your concerns. There's a lot of things people ain't gonna understand unless they in your shoes. Especially for us being African American women, we don't come across that. We so used to, and like I told when I first met her, I thought what y'all was doing was wonderful. And I was like, however I can help, I can help. But y'all know I sell the toys, so I keep maturing far from my social media, so I can't, you know what I'm saying, just period. But like I was telling her, like black women, we just, it's sad to say, but we just so naturally strong. I don't have nobody to talk to about my son, because he's the only one in the family. And yeah, you can talk to him, but they don't understand. They, you know, people want to put these limitations and these guidelines for children who are quotation deemed normal, and it just don't work like that. It's not gonna work like that. I remember my son he was 6 years old when he was potty trained, but he's always been a big child, naturally. So I had people looking at me crazy. I'm changing this big 5-year-old pimp, but they don't understand that me trying to sit him on the pot for hours, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to further hinder the process. And I remember he was going to therapy, and they was like, just stop. Stop sitting him on the potty. Stop. You're going to hinder the fact that he going to want to do. And the lady told me, when an autistic child is ready to do something,
They will do it.
They going to let you know, and they going to do it. And I tell you, I was so nervous because he went to kindergarten. He was going to kindergarten. And 2 weeks before kindergarten, and this is a nonverbal child. And we're going to get into nonverbal, because when I say nonverbal, people think my son can't talk at all, and it's not true. Right. But he's a nonverbal child, and he told me, I don't want to wear pull-ups no more. And I never had another issue with him going to the bathroom. He was potty trained instant like that, ready to go.
I didn't even talk to my baby.
I'm telling you, when he get ready, he going to do it.
But now, to piggyback on what you said about when they ready, they will do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like CJ, he's not potty trained yet. He's 7. When he ready, he will be ready. And even the therapist told me, stop.
Just stop.
You wasting your time.
Yeah, making yourself agitated.
You making yourself.
Autistic children will give you patience you never thought you had. Honey, they will give it to you. You can't do nothing but, I'm going to take that. You have to choose your battles, because it's not serious to them at all. So don't, you know.
Because Caleb, he's 6. He got potty trained not even a year ago. It was the number 2 that got us. We could not understand why he would not go. He did have some regression this summer, because with my new job and everything, we was not on the schedule, and so he did regress. In front of his therapist, he peed on himself, and I was like, oh Lord. But he regressed a lot, and so we're still in pull-ups at night or on the weekends. And I get stares. I get, why that big old boy?
Baby, I be waiting on somebody to say something. I'm waiting.
You do not understand the struggles.
I honestly, I be waiting on somebody to say something.
I do, because
I don't know if y'all do, but I be ready.
Because I'm gonna tell, and you know what, I've never been that type of person, but ever since I found out that my son, and I found out early, even before they diagnostic gave him that. But when I see children acting out in the store, I totally look at those parents different because you don't know. It's so
Right.
many other stuff. It's autistic. They could be autistic. They could have Asperger's. They could have a lot of different things you don't really understand and know.
Williams
And people
syndrome.
pass judgment so much in public,
Yes.
right? And I remember one time I did have to check somebody. We was at the grocery store, and me and Joe, we go there all the time, but Joseph had an outburst just with noise, and the man was like, "You too big for that. Hold up, wait a minute, sir. You don't know my child." I'm quick to check somebody because really y'all need to mind your own business, really. Because whatever going on with my child, I got that. You don't have to take care of him. You don't have to do nothing. You after you leave this store, you will never see or hear from me and my child again.
Exactly.
Right? And I think a lot of people need to realize that because you might come across the wrong mama. And I don't have a problem. I tell people all the time, I don't have a problem going to jail or hell about my children. I don't know. We live right now. Y'all know how we go live. I'm not live on my page. We live at which y'all? On your page?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
all things
Okay.
autism.
All things autism. Tell them where they can find y'all on social media since we there.
So you can find us on Facebook at All Things Autism Foundation, that big old yellow logo. You can't miss it. And we also have a website. It's on our business cards.
Do you have any?
I do have some, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have some.
Okay. So, what advice would y'all give a parent who's like, I need some help. I need somebody to point me in the right direction. What should we do? First, let me say this first. Yeah, I be jumping all over the place. First of all, I think this, and I think we hit on this before, but if you have a child, a baby, an infant, and they're not hitting the quote unquote milestones, you will hear people say, "Oh, it's okay." No, it's not okay. The guidelines of the milestones are there for a reason, right? And yes, each child is different.
Yeah.
But the moment you realize at 9 months, my child ain't doing this. At 1 year old, my child not doing this. If my child won and they can't finger food feed themselves, these are things that you need to go to your doctor see, because a lot of times people will tell you this, and you know it's a stigma behind your kids being special need, when in actuality them the best damn kids you can have in the world, because I got regular and special need, right? But it's a stigma and people feel some type of way, but when they don't, because early intervention for your child is the best
Yes.
way to go.
So, for me, I had everybody in my ear. Oh, he gonna talk. He don't want to talk to y'all. He gonna talk
Yeah,
when he
that,
get ready. He
that's
gonna
that
talk.
old people mentality.
And I'm just like, that old people mentality. I'm just like, no, something ain't right. You know, I just need to talk to my child PCP. Well, for me, unfortunately, my child PCP turned me down. So I had to change PCP. So let me tell parents this. You do have to watch who your child PCP is. Because not all doctors, not all PCPs understand what autism is. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't know. Especially down there in Palm Bluff. We talked about that.
Yes, I'm piggyback. When I went to my child's doctor, it was, you know, that puzzle piece that represents autism. That's how I felt. I could never find the full puzzle because, for one, when I went to his pediatrician, well, we don't really know much about it, but we will support you in referrals. I didn't need just support in referrals. I needed help to understand my child. And that's something in Arkansas, that's why we do what we do, because we want to make Arkansas great in understanding our kids, because that's our most important goal, is to understand our babies. If we don't have support from our doctors who went to school for this, then I was like, I'm alone. I feel alone. I feel like I'm alienating my child or myself. The mental health situation, we don't even talk about a lot. But it was a lot when you can feel alone in the same sense. But the hunger that I had to wanting to know
What
my child, I
autism
wanted
is.
to be in his world. But autism was not the first thing. It was his speech delay, and then it was other certain things. And let me tell you, I had to go back and talk to his daycare worker because she told me when he was 2 that he had a speech delay, and I got upset with her because I'm like, not my baby.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
that's
how
another
we
thing.
are.
Like I
That's
was, yeah. I
you
was
got to
like,
be honest with
With
yourself.
yourself.
you have to. And COVID hit soon after, and no, he ended up going to a Head Start, and that Head Start did not properly take care of him, and so it was just different little things. And then COVID hit, and I was at home. I teach, so I taught at home, and we were all at home, and I started seeing different things. I'm like, autism started coming up, here and there, but I still was not ready until he got to this wonderful school, Forest Park. Shout out to Forest Park. They were awesome. They started his early intervention speech. He did not get OT just yet until he got the autism diagnosis, but I did get the referral from my doctor, and I'm thankful for the referrals they gave, but I just wish that,
It was more.
It was more like I can come to you and ask you answers and not go to Google.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
Google can only, the spectrum is so big.
So be.
So I have a verbal autistic child, but on Google you may only hear about nonverbal.
No.
No.
And so how can I help my child? Because he's very too verbal. He talks too much, and he uses that to his advantage. And it was just so much. So just trying to understand who my child was and where he fit on the spectrum. And I'm still finding out things. I'm still looking at his unique. He's very unique, and I would see things. I'm like, he knows. He lines everything up, certain sizes, color. I mean, so he's smart because those things was important for him to understand. He has a hunger for like trucks and cars. That helped him learn about countries and states and stuff. And it just they're very unique. I'm trying to say, and I felt alone in the beginning, not understanding. But COVID helped because I had to stay at home with them, and you have to watch your babies.
Child, you have
You have
to
to notate. You got to take notes, mental notes, iPhone notes, notebook notes, whatever. You have to. If you see something, you have to don't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ignore it because there's a reason why God is putting it on your spirit. Watch that baby. Look at the milestones, but also each child is different.
It's different.
Autistic or not, they're different. So you have to know your baby, and that was my hunger. I wanted to know my child.
Yeah.
I said I cannot. It would not be fair to him if I do not get to know him and what he needs. It would not be fair to him because he's not in this world. He has a different world, and I'm in that world with him.
Exactly.
We right beside each other. I got front row seats to his world,
Yeah.
and I want others to as well, so they can understand him, they can love him, and they will not treat him different. And that's the reason why we do what we do.
Okay. Yeah. I've just happened to be. I worked with special needed adults at the time. And we have to watch these learning videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's my child. And he wasn't even 1 yet. And I said, that's my child because he would look off and just follow a ceiling fan for hours and that. But anyway. And like that, and he wouldn't pick up his food. He had a big issue at the daycare where he would cry all day at the daycare. But anyway. So I was fortunate enough to see the signs, get them in there. In the state of Arkansas, you cannot be tested until you're 3 years old. Yeah. And so he, on his 3rd birthday, he was tested because we was already aligned, and they was aligned. Was like, okay, we're gonna get this. So, but I did want to explain. She said she got a verbal child. What is CJ?
I say CJ is semi-verbal. When I say that, I mean he can say certain words, certain
phrases and
stuff like that. Far as saying, "Oh, mommy, I need to go pot," or "Mommy, I need this," "Mommy, I need that," is nothing.
Yeah.
He haven't reached that level yet, but.
So my son, he's 11, and he's still under nonverbal. He can talk, but he only give you out once, and not in a I want phrase. He just might say one word, or he goes to speech therapy OT. But like the biggest phrase he say is "Bye, see you later." And it's because they repeatedly tell him, and because they don't make good eye contact. Okay, that's why the other when we was talking about the other day, and I told you that.
Yeah.
That's why, because I don't even, no matter, they won't the whole time. Like they might make eye contact with you, but they will not. So instead of him just walking away, or it could be somewhere in with somebody else other than me, and just him just walking out the door. We had this last night. He was over his uncle in house. He ready to go. He just gonna walk out the door. I said, that's not what you do. So he said, bye, see you later, when he ready to go. So we would taught him that way, but he will not hold a conversation with you. He's more of a repeater. If I say how you doing, he'll say how you doing.
Right.
Just the same whatever you say. He'll say back to you. So the spectrum is so big. You can find an autistic person that you would never know they was autistic until you put them in a social setting, because they're socially awkward.
Yeah.
All of them. And there ain't nothing wrong with being a little awkward. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because that's what we say to them. This is regular. What are y'all doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is, but another thing I wanted to hit on. Once you see your doctor, they give you referrals. If somebody, like you said, somebody told you no.
Right.
When you got that feeling, don't let nobody tell you. Keep on going. But that's what anything in life, especially with your kids,
Right.
because people tell you, no, this can't happen, this can't happen. But you just keep going. I want to say this now. Ooh, I think I'm gonna say that for the second part, that wrap up, because they're gonna get deep. I don't want to talk about that too long.
I do want to cover sensory.
Oh, go ahead.
So now sensory is for all people. We all have sensory things. Like,
We all need that touch.
right, yeah, and you may not like certain textures. You may not like certain foods.
Right.
So we all have sensory situations. But with an autistic kid, like you have the sensory seekers and you have the ones who do not.
The avoid it.
Yeah, the avoidance of sensory. My child, he can run to a wall and literally be okay, but that's feeding his sensory. He's a sensory.
He like that pressure.
Yeah, he like, oh yeah. Now the other day he said I tried to kill him because he asked me to lay back on him because he does it sometimes. He's like, you tried to kill me, and I was like, you can't say stuff like that. He's very blunt. He was like, yeah, but you. I didn't like how you did that. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus. But like I say, he's a very verbal child. He's very blunt, so he gonna say what he want to say when he gonna say it. So, and it was funny, and we laughed about it. But he's a sensory seeker. He finds ways. He's on the floor a lot. He has to have an impact. He runs into people. The best way to put it is, if he's in a big crowd and he's overwhelmed, he's the bowling ball, the heaviest bowling ball you can get, and everyone around him is the pins. And he's going to. That's his thing. When he was one, before he was one, he was tackling kids bigger than him. So they used to have to put him. They used to have to put all the other kids in high chairs, bigger kids in high chairs, because he was going to tackle all of them. It was
Did he ever have a vest?
He does not like the vest. So I do the compression shirts. So we trying to find different things. Even in my elbow is also it's a need. He has to touch my elbow at all times. This is why I hate traveling too far, because he's not going to stay in his car seat.
Just my knee. I can't stand it.
He messed with your knee. Mine's my elbow.
Mine is my nose, my face.
Yeah, it's something about
it's
it.
always this.
It's funny because his teacher last year, she said, "Why he always staying behind me?" I said, "He's trying to find your elbow. He don't know how to come to you about that elbow, but he wants your elbow because he needs that sensory output. He loves carpet. I just bought him a carpet for his room yesterday because my living room is toward mess up
He
because
just
he has
own it.
and so he brings everything that he loves
In
on that road.
carpet.
And so he has a carpet. He was like, Mama, thank you so much. I was like, oh, thank you, welcome. You know, like, I just paid $20 for it, but you know, just keep it nice, you know. But sensory is so big. Noises, he wears these big old yellow headphones. It comes from Monster Jam, but because he can't handle certain noises. And so just watch your babies about the sensory. Like, every kid is different. We have our own sensory issues as well. But that was a really big thing, sensory. Hyper and hypo. He has a little bit of both because when he has meltdowns, he hates to be touched too. So, but yeah, that's a big one.
Y'all seen this thing earlier where it says like, "Oh, my child needs the touch, but also don't want to be touched," and that
CJ.
yeah, that can be like tricky. Because on a regular basis, because I know Justin, he be all on me, his crazy group hug and stuff. But if they get upset, you might not want to touch them because it's a different ball game. It's switch, and it's another thing. Like people, if you see your kids standoffish, don't enjoy touch, don't want to be around other children, that kind of thing. That could be a sign, even though you say, "Oh, they hitting all they perfect milestones and all this," because on the spectrum, some people, like I say, they just gonna be socially awkward appearing, but they have autism, and it's another form. We're gonna get ready and take a break, and we'll be right back. So if you haven't liked, shared, or comment, hunty, it's now your time to do that. And the Ladies Lounge will be right back with all things Autism Foundation. Welcome back to the Ladies Lounge. I'm your host, Erica Kane, the big one, not the little one. Today we have all things Autism Foundation with us today. They have a big event coming up in October, and I'm going to let them tell you all about it in detail, in depth.
So our event on October 28th will be our Autism Fall Festival, where we're able to provide just a fun opportunity for our babies on the spectrum. We're going to have lots and lots of activities, sensory activities. We're going to have a bouncy house. We're going to have awesome vendors. You want to go ahead and shout out our vendors?
You can go.
Okay. So just some of the vendors we have. We have Alluring Events. She will be there with her sunshade, her sunglasses, and all that good stuff. Printed Perfection will be there. Paper Pie, Rejuvenated Sensations, Felicia's Fashion Boutique, DK Creations, Paparazzi, we love our $5 jewelry. JDK Sweet Treats, and our food truck, who is giving our babies free food. So
free hot dogs.
Free hot dogs and nachos.
Yes.
And so that is Phillips Lips and Tips Mobile Food Trailer. So shout out to you all for coming and making this event just an amazing time for our babies. We will have candy. We will have blue buckets for our babies on the spectrum. And so if you if you cannot find a blue bucket, we will have one on site. Shout out to the owner of the building. And yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward. Like she says, I'm a vendor there, but me and my baby gonna be there because, baby, we fools with them the long way. If you are in the state of Arkansas, please take the time out to reach out to them to help with resources, even if you just need to vent, whatever you need to do, because we all know that this can be a very emotional and mental journey that we are all on, but we love our children, so we up for it every single day. We stand in the gap for our children. We speak for them when they cannot speak, even when they can speak. And we are here to shelter them like the big mama bears that we are. So if you're in the state of Arkansas, please reach out to the foundation. You never know. You might not have anything locally to you, but you don't know, they may can come to you and help you with resources give you this shoulder to lean on. We all need someone to lean on, and that's why I absolutely love this foundation. Absolutely love the work that these women are doing, because we don't get the opportunity to express and to just celebrate our children like most people do, because things can be so difficult from the outside for us. The first step you have to do, you have to accept that your child is different. And then you have to learn how to make the world see them the same way, no matter what situation they're in and how it look. So I'm going to let them tell you one more time how you can reach them, okay?
So our Facebook page, All Things Autism Foundation. It's the big yellow logo. You cannot miss it with the infinity sign. And also my personal Facebook is Shatobika Rhymes.
Sharika Stewart.
So you can reach us at any time. Our contact information is on there. Our email is on there. Just whatever you need, we are here.
And that information will be in the description box. So if you know a parent of autism, or you might not want, just drop their name down in the comments so they can see it. So they can see that we are here. It's a community here waiting to help and support you. And this will be it for the Ladies Lounge today. I'm your host, Erica Kane. You know I'm the big one, not the little one. Don't play with it, okay? But please join us next time for the Ladies Lounge. And don't worry, they will be back, okay? Stay tuned. Love you.